Hello everyone, welcome back to Emma Bobbins. I am Emma and this is where we talk about all things cross stitch. And today we're going to be tackling one of my favourite subjects of all time ever. We're going to be looking at the gaming category. There's actually not that much in here because I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed with the amount of patterns relating to gaming as like a general term that don't freaking exist. This isn't shade to anyone, right? I haven't been here long enough to like kind of feel my way around. Is it because there isn't really that much interest for IPs that I'm interested in? I thought there would have been a lot for Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Horizon, Resident Evil even. There's not a huge selection, which I find a little bit disappointing, but maybe that's where I come in and that's where I bridge the gap. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Wishlist for gaming patterns. If you haven't been here before, this is the series where I spotlight everything that is on my wish list. So right now we're looking at all the Etsy wish lists, and then once I finish with Etsy, I will do a small business edition. So we'll go through like the websites of the designers that maybe don't have an Etsy, or I just haven't bookmarked them on Etsy. That's also a thing that could happen. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first one, which we have all seen probably a gazillion times before, is The Gamer by Medusa Dollmaker. Why would you not want to stitch her? If you were into gaming, why would you not? Incredible. And the more that you look at the actual pattern itself, the more little bits and pieces you actually start to pick out of it. I love her. She's incredible, and I keep doing this thing where I'm like, scroll down, see what else the designer has, but this is a very bad idea because I do not need anything else on my wish list. But of course we need more stuff on the wish list, don't we? Don't we all? Don't we all? I think we do. Next one is one that I've seen doing the rounds a lot on Instagram. There's quite a few people doing it, and it is the Eeveelutions Cafe pattern by Glitch Stitch AU. And I know there's a couple of Australians already doing this on Instagram. So Stitch by Liz, Mel Rouveret, and Casca's Crosses, I'm pretty sure are all doing it. I'll leave them linked in the description if you want to go follow them. They're very, very nice and very talented. Oh, they're all doing it, and I'm so tempted to like jump on it, but I just don't have the time. I've got far too many projects on the go just now to start anything new. Says me that we might just start it anyway, I'm not sure. I loved Pokemon. Eevee was not my favourite, but I really appreciate all the Eeveelutions. They're very, very cool. Next one. Okie dokie. I love this watercolour. I was going to say Fallout Boy. Not them. This is the Vault Boy by Baddies Crossing. Like I was saying at the start, there's not a whole lot of gaming patterns out there. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong places for them, or it could be copyright related. I'm not sure. The Fallout TV show has just recently come out on Amazon Prime, and I inhaled it. And it was great. It was incredible. The atmosphere, everything they captured was perfect. Perfect. They nailed it. I really hope this is the period of time where we start to make a change and we actually bring good game to TV / movie. Historically it has been hot garbage. Ever since, I guess, Detective Pikachu was great. Sonic is amazing. The Super Mario Brothers movie was really actually pretty well done, and now we've got Fallout, and like, love that for us. Fallout is just one of my absolute comfort games. Hundreds of hours. I've never finished Fallout 4 through to the end, but I think I still played like 180 something hours in it. I didn't finish the main quest. Fallout 3 was great. Fallout New Vegas I didn't really gel with, only because, I don't know, I think there's like a realization now that the Fallout TV show has come out, and there's quite a lot of things going around on the internet, you know, what Fallout game should I start with? And I totally agree that Fallout New Vegas is not it for newcomers. That's for people who are veterans or like that style of game, because they're all quite different. It was my recommendation. You wanted to start getting into Fallout, go for Fallout 4. It's easily accessible. It uses more modern controls. It looks great, and yeah, it's I think it's a far better starting place than New Vegas is, because I still haven't played it. Next up is our favourite gal, Malenia from Elden Ring, and this is by Stitchy Bones. Again, not a huge amount of Elden Ring cross-stitch patterns available on the internet that I've seen, so she is an absolute I don't know how many times I tried to fight her and it just lost. That waterfowl dance is just I've only played through Elden Ring once, but I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it, and I will be doing my second playthrough in time for the DLC that's releasing in June. Yay! That actually might be like closer to when this video comes out. I started a faith strength build, so I think I'm gonna go down that route because the first playthrough that I did, I was a mage. A mage with the, not the Uchigatana, the name has disappeared from my mind, but it's a big sword anyway, and so I was like pew 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 with like my little stick, and then like shoo 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 with my little sword. It was great. Malenia, although I hated fighting her, she's bae. Love her so much in certain ways, not the fighting her, but she's such an ass. Next one on here is by Not Another Stitcher. It is a retro game poster, and this just sums up childhood probably for a lot of us. There's Pacman, there's Kong, there's Sonic, there's just loads of little different little bits and pieces. I think this is one of the ones where it is a large pattern, but I think it would translate into a cross stitch really, really well. I'd love to do that at some point. And here's where we get into the genre of patterns that there is so many of. Pokemon. There's so many different patterns as well. Stardew Valley. I find that there's so many patterns for them too. It seems to be like more Nintendo-y stuff, probably because it translates over quite well because a lot of it's like quite pixely. But this is Be the Very Best by Home Sewn Stitches, and it's the 4 starter Pokemon from the first generation, and a little Mew tagged on at the end because why wouldn't we have Mew? Mew is the best. Again, this is probably one that you could probably knock out quite quickly. Love to have that hanging in my office or something one day so that I remember that I can always be the very best. Just like Ash was. Just like... Oh, I can't even remember. What was the first like person that you battle with? Is it Gary in the first generation? I can't even remember. That's how long ago I played them. Although I did download that app called Delta because I'm on iPhone. So Delta allows you to import ROMs for all these old like Game Boy games, and I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think I still have all my old Game Boy games somewhere. I think they're in the loft actually. I was actually hankering for another playthrough of Pokemon, I don't know why. But not like modern Pokemon, like old Pokemon that was really challenging and it kicked your butt. The next couple of patterns are by Chicago Stitchery, and I do really like their store in general. They have loads of lovely different patterns, but this is part of the Tarot collections. This one is the Achiever. I'm not going to say I go after trophies, but in certain games that I'm really loving, I do go through the trophy list and try my best to get them as much as I can. The next one, also by Chicago Stitchery, is the Hoarder. So it's just like inventory full. Kind of ashamed to say, I think I hit that on almost every single game that has an inventory limit, so I feel like that's me. The next one, also by them, is the Retro Gamer. What were we thinking, Nintendo, when we designed that controller? I like the crab hands and the cramp that you get, but it is iconic, so I'd love to do that at some point in time. And then lastly, by Chicago Stitchery for now, is the Gamer, the Modern Gamer tarot card. I am a PlayStation gal through and through. I have never really... Oh, okay. I've got a story to tell, as always. The first and only time I have ever played on an Xbox controller was when I went over to my friend's house for a birthday party and we played Madagascar on her Xbox. I did not like the controller, and that is the only reason I have always picked like a PlayStation. You know, I don't really get the whole discourse between Xbox and PlayStation and how Nintendo doesn't really come into that discussion at all. It's quite hilarious. But yes, I'm a PlayStation gal through and through, although I really do love PC gaming for certain things. The Sims, any kind of like city builders, SimCity, City Skyline, Zoo Tycoon, Planet Coaster, all that kind of stuff. And my head needs to be on a PC. I don't know why, it needs mouse and keyboard. And the really neat thing though is nowadays you can link up a PlayStation controller to a PC, so like there's never any reason really for me to get an Xbox anymore. As long as I have a PC, we're good. Saying that, I was also a little bit of a Nintendo gal. When the Game Boy, the original black and white Game Boy came out, I don't know where this came from, but I had the yellow one and I really remember it very vividly. I don't know what the hell happened to it, because then I ended up with a berry pink one, which is the one I've still got to this day. I'm sure I also had a Game Boy Color that was like the see-through, and then I also had a Game Boy Advance. I was very, very lucky. That was like my hobby as a child, was gaming. So really roundabout way to say This one from Needleminder Leia, the Game Boy with the little Sakura on it. Oh, it's so cute. It's a really simple design. Again, this is one that would look really good with metallics, I think. You just like sprinkle through some like glitter in there. This would look really good actually on a glittery fabric too, like one that was super glittery, you know, like you can tell that it's glittery. Next one is by Burrito Threads. It is Super Mario in the shape of Bowser's face. I think this is great. Super Mario, I have a really strange history with Super Mario because I didn't come into it probably like the traditional way. My favorite one on the Game Boy was Super Mario, was it Super Mario Land? So you had like 6 different lands to go to. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, eh? Oh, sorry, Super Mario Land I did have. That was like the originale. And then there was Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. That is like my jam. I love that game. And it was only really recently when they brought out the 3-pack collection on Switch that I actually went back to Super Mario 64 because I didn't have a Nintendo 64 or anything like that. The only home console that I had was a PlayStation 1. Yeah, Mario wasn't really like big apart from those 2 games for me. Oh, this next one. This next one's incredible. Also by Glitch Stitch AU, and it is the Pokemon Gen Wars. So you've got your little character and Charizard sitting on the original Game Boy versus whoever it is sitting on the Switch. I haven't kept up with all the generations of Pokemon, so I don't know who that is. I still love it. It still works for me. It's really, really cute. Going back to Super Mario again, this is by Box Cat Shop, and it is a Super Mario World map. This isn't the world map from Super Mario World 2, but I still love it. I still think it's really, really cool. And again, someone on Reddit's been doing this, and oh my god, it's so many stitches, right? But they've made such an incredible job of it. It's amazing. A big undertaking, but amazing. Okay, next one is by Pixels and Bits. This is the original house that you start in Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow. And it just says Home Sweet Home. This is iconic. And you got your little Pikachu behind you. But if you didn't have yellow, you didn't have the Pikachu behind you. There was like a yellow thing. Got so many stories to do with like my childhood and gaming. I had Pokemon Blue. This was like way back when. Do you remember Teletext? And you could book holidays on Teletext? Yeah, that's how old this goes back. And some of you probably have no idea. So Teletext was basically like a catalogue that you could get through the TV, and it would just like flick through and had all different stuff on it, like the weather, sports, and you could book holidays through it. So my dad, being the cheapskate that he is, booked a Teletext holiday to Turkey in like 1998 or something like that. This was probably a little bit before Turkey became an established holiday destination. We were staying in Istanbul. We were staying in like this business hotel. This was not a hotel like for families or anything like that. It's actually the pool I learned to swim in because no one was using it because it was a business hotel. So we went to this shopping centre, like I've got no idea where this was, and my parents bought me a bootleg copy of Pokemon Yellow so that I could have the little Pikachu behind me. Nintendo games were and still are really expensive. A very fond memory, but it's really funny as well. Next one is by Black Box Stitching and Press Start for Adventure. Again, the whole Nintendo thing, I wasn't really part of it, but I really, really like this pattern. You all have to press start, right? Most games you need to press start for. Yeah, I really, really love that. Next one, getting into something a little bit more modern than that, is the Last of Us tattoo for Ellie. So the moth and the 2 ferns, and this is by Borealis Stitch. And Last of Us is, where do you even start to talk about The Last of Us? I really don't know. What a game series. I feel like the story isn't quite finished for Ellie though, so I would really like Neil Druckmann, if you're watching. Naughty Dog, please make another one because her story is not finished yet. You had your opportunity to stop it at 1 and just leave it there, but you didn't. You went further. We need to see Ellie's happy. So anyway, this is an amazing picture of Ellie's tattoo that she gets in the second game. No spoilers from me, but if you haven't played The Last of Us, it's the kind of game, even if you weren't a gamer, I think you could really enjoy. Like, a lot of games you need to be into gaming to get through it, whereas The Last of Us is, you can just be in it for the story and it works so well. Oh, the TV show as well. Oh my god. Bella Ramsey and Pedro do so well in that. Keeping on the Last of Us theme, the next one is The Clicker by Cross Stitch Friends. Again, if you haven't seen the show, or maybe you haven't played the game, I'm not going to spoil it, but these are freaking scary. They're so scary and I love the pattern. You know, maybe one day I will get to stitch that. And then last one from Chicago Stitchery, because I just love them so much, the Floral Nostalgia Game Boy. I've already done the one for the PlayStation 1 controller. Put a picture up after the pattern so that you can see it, but I loved working on it. I didn't stitch the flowers, but I think the Game Boy works really well with the flowers, so definitely on my to stitch list. Okay, the next one is by Cross Stitch Bay, and this is that all the Pokemon from the starter first gen? I think it actually might be. So all 151-ish Pokemon in little mini form. The first generation of Pokemon. Lived, breathed, oh, just everything. This is really, really cool. Just want to stitch them all. Gotta stitch them all, stitch them on. The next one is by one of my favourite shops, is Happy Sloth Patterns, and this is the Pacman one. I don't think I really need to explain anything more than Pacman, to be honest. This would be a really quick stitch too if you've done it on black fabric. Love it. Although, all those lines are quite... Okay, maybe it would take you quite a while to do. Yeah, it would, because you need to do all the lines. It would take a while, but I love it so much. The next one, again by Happy Sloth Patterns, is I Am In Control with the Plumbob. I love The Sims. I think I started playing The Sims when I was like 7 or 8. I really dropped off when I became an adult because I didn't have any time to play it, and I really miss it, although I probably fell off a time like kind of the end of The Sims 3 but before The Sims 4. Slightly dabbled in The Sims 4, but Sims 3, oh, perfect. I could lose myself for hours in that. I especially love to see the World Traveller pack or whatever it was called, and you go on holiday and like have adventures in like Egypt, and then I had to solve the mysteries and all that. Oh yes, that was how I spent my time in The Sims. I still love The Sims, but I just haven't. Do you know, like as I've got older, my gaming taste has like really expanded into things that I never thought I would go to, and I have such a backlog that unfortunately I don't think I'll be into The Sims 4. It'll be Sims 5 by the time I'm ready to get back into it, you know. Again, Happy Sloth Patterns, the WASD PC Gamer Cross Stitch Patterns. So for those of you children that don't know, back in my day, no, way back when, and it's still true to this day, WASD is how you move your character when you were playing on a mouse and keyboard. Do you know what I played the most? Probably. I probably should have had a controller, but I just didn't. I had The Simpsons Hit and Run on PC. It was so bad. I would never recommend playing that game with a mouse and keyboard. It is so awkward. Do you know what though? It wasn't even a mouse and keyboard that I was playing with. It was a freaking laptop I was playing on. Got my hand like WASD and like trying to move myself around. It was ridiculous, but I had the best time, and I still have the best time in Hit and Run. But now with a controller. Okay, on to the next one. As we can tell, I really like Game Boys. This one is by White Raven Patterns, and it's just got adventure across it in a little banner. I think that's why I like gaming so much, because you can go on so many different adventures. It's really special to me. I just love it. If I could watch TV or a movie, or I could read, or I could game, I will game every day of the week. I love it so much. It's such a nice media, and I really like how now it's become normalized. When I was younger and playing as like a girl, I wasn't into like My Little Pony and stuff like that. I was into like probably more like the boy games, Need for Speed. Oh yeah, that was my jam. What else did I play when I was growing up? Small Soldiers, yes, give it to me. Love it. I was into like more like the boy games rather than the girl games. I love that gaming has evolved into a space for literally everyone. And it doesn't really matter what gender you are or identify with, like no one cares anymore. That is like revolutionary to like the little girl me who got picked on. Well, not picked on, but was like, ew, what do you mean you don't play with dolls? I played with cars. I had a garage, and you like spun like the little wheel on the side, and the garage like lifted up the car, and then you could put it down, and then you could park the cars. It was great. I was that kind of kid growing up. I feel like I've mentioned this shop before, but it is Dots and Spot shop, and it is, oh my god, what's his name? It's from Resident Evil. Is it? It's not Mr. X. Do you know I haven't even played the Resident Evil games? Well, I have. I started playing the first one and then I got too scared. I haven't played Resident Evil, although I adore the franchise. The movies are so trash. I admit they're trash. They're terrible. The TV show I also thought was trash, but it was good of Netflix to, you know, give it a go. This is on my wish list of games that I want to go through from start to finish. But I just haven't had the opportunity yet. Maybe after Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Elden Ring, all that kind of stuff, I'm probably gonna go back to Resident Evil and do them from start to finish. But the thing is, I'm such a little baby. As much as I love horror, see when I'm playing a horror game, I turn into like the little child that's crying in the corner. I'm trying to find this dude's name. What the hell is his name? The problem is he's like really iconic too, so like... Nemsis! Oh my god, I can't believe it took me so long to get to that. Nemsis is what he's called. I'd love a little bit of Resident Evil to hang up in my office. That's why this pattern exists. I haven't stitched it yet, but I bought a Stranger Things pattern from them also. It's just like a blackwork one. Blackwork? No, black and white. I've got so much to stitch, but like I really feel like my actual pile is under control. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I've got that to do. Oh, I've got that. Oh, I've got this to do. Such is life. That is me for today. This was a really long video, so I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a comment. Let me know. If you think I need another pattern that would fall into the gaming theme, do you think I would like and I need to stitch, please let me know. And if you want to see more of these videos, they will be coming. I have a couple more still to film, but we're getting into the really big categories here, so they take a long time to go through. With that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Love you, bye! We can do it, we can do it, we can do it. There's more to come. There's more, there's more, there's more. I think I'm gonna have to call it here because my voice is like going. I don't know how people talk all day. What is this hair doing? My hair always like curls around when I'm filming. It curls around my face. I'm doing this a lot in this series. Oh god, what's his name?